I'm Mokhatshane Mofolo, and I work with entrepreneurs and small businesses to find new ways of making money by giving customers more value. I'm building an app in public and sharing the journey in real time. I named it Photobomb. It's a product to help photographers, event organizers, and venue owners create a repeating income. I recently started my company, and this is my way of helping my future clients find me by sharing my process and way of thinking, how I talk to customers and business owners, my design decisions and aesthetic, and how I collaborate with AI to build products. Last week I started with discovery. That's the work we do to understand customers and users. Having conversations to hear about their specific problems, talking to business owners to understand what they care about and where they see the biggest opportunities to increase revenue. Anyone can build apps now because of AI, so I'm doubling down on the shit that machines can't do. Having messy conversations, listening, showing empathy, asking open-ended questions, affirming, building trust, basically human connection, and figuring out if a product is commercially viable. I made some cold calls to photographers, venue owners, and event organizers. I spoke to a club owner in Freiburg, and he was like, let's talk again when the weather is a bit nicer and people are going out again. I called the club owner in Kuruman, and he was like, hit me up around 6. I called him around 6, didn't pick up. I called the photographer in Kuruman, and he was like, I sound a bit anxious, like I don't know if this thing is gonna work. I called another photographer in Kuruman, and he was like, I must call him later. I called him later, he didn't pick up. I spoke to a photographer in Bloom, and he was like, he's already using Pixieset. I spoke to another photographer in Bloom. Then I thought he was mising me, and when I checked my phone later, he had asked me a few questions. I got fucking excited. Took those same questions that he asked, and I made a question and answer section on the marketing page. And what else? I spoke to a photographer in... So that was like around 8 calls, So after 8 or 10 calls and no solid yes, it was like I have to change positions. Like my whole approach is not hitting right, and so I reframed the offer, changed my words, adjusted my energy, and showed more confidence, and I got better results. I called a club owner in Kimberley. He was like, come check me out. I traveled from Kuruman to Kimberley, and we sat and had a chat, and I showed him how it works, and